Hi, I'm Greg, and today we're going to talk about how to fill out a cut sheet for the half pig that you just purchased from Stonecrop Farm. So first, we want to make sure that you end up getting your name and your phone number on your cut sheet. We want to make sure your meat gets to the right person and that we have an easy way to get in touch with you at the last minute if we need to ask you a question. Definitely mark that you want the weight on your packages. It helps to figure out cooking times on roasts, and it's just a helpful thing to have there. For the chop and steak thickness and your roast weight, we definitely recommend going with 1 inch for the thickness and 3 to 4 pounds for the roast weight. But if you know that you want bigger roast or thinner chops, feel free to mark that down. But if you're not sure, we definitely recommend sticking with our numbers. For the pork butt, we like to get 2 butt roasts out of this. They're bone-in, usually around 4 pounds. Fantastic for roasting in the oven or for turning into pulled pork. You can also get shoulder steaks, also known as blade chops. You can also do half and half, so get 1 roast and a few steaks. And the steaks are great for throwing on the grill or for cutting up and using for stir fries or stews. For the loin, we like to get bone-in pork chops. We usually do 2 per pack. We like doing bone-in because the bone helps kind of give you a little bit of leeway in terms of the cook time. Doesn't cook quite as quickly, so you have a little bit more margin for error before you overcook the pork chop. You can also get loin roasts, or you could do half roasts and half chops, which is a nice way to do it. For the tenderloin, the instructions say that you can only do this if you receive boneless chops. That being said, if you want bone-in chops and tenderloin, mark it down, and our butcher will sometimes make exceptions to this rule. For the bacon, we definitely recommend getting smoked bacon. Our butcher does a fantastic job with the curing and smoking. The bacon that we sell at the Brighton Farmers Market is number 5 in terms of thickness, and we like getting 3/4 pound packages. It's enough to be a substantial quantity, but it's not so much that you feel like you're eating a lot of bacon before you worry about it going bad in the fridge. You can also get your pork belly as fresh and in a slab, and you want to make sure that you mark how many pounds per package you want, and also whether or not you want it skin on or skinless. It's great for braising or for cutting up yourself and salting and throwing in the frying pan. You can also try your hand at making your own bacon or pancetta or something like that. The shoulder picnic, we definitely like to get it fresh. It's another great way to make pulled pork. The flavor is absolutely amazing. You can also get it smoked and turned into shoulder bacon, or you can get it turned into more sausage if you want to bulk up your sausage order. For the hocks, we like to get them smoked. They're great for using in split pea soup or bean soup or something like that. You can also get them fresh and use them for braising, or we often turn them into sausage ourselves. For the ham, this is another thing that we like to get smoked. You can do it as half ham roasts, which are usually around 5 pounds bone-in, which is great for a small family. You can also have them turned into ham steaks, which are great to throw on the grill, or if you're a family of 2 like we are, we like to use them for that, and then we get a decent amount of ham for a serving size for a couple of meals through the week. You can also do half and half, do 1 roast and some steaks. And we've started selling sliced deli ham at the Brighton Farmers Market, and that is available to half-big customers, but it does come with an additional processing cost, so just ask us about that if you're interested in the sliced deli ham. For spare ribs, who doesn't love spare ribs? Definitely recommend getting those. That's just an easy yes check mark on the list. So on the bottom half of the sheet, for the baby back ribs, we pretty much always say no because we always get bone-in chops. And the ribs that are in a rib chop are the baby back ribs. We think it's much better to get the ribs in the chops than it is to get a separate rack of baby back ribs. It's a better use of the bone and a better use of the meat, I think. So for the pork jowls, this is something that as a half-big customer, we usually recommend that people get smoked or turned into sausage. For the smoked jowl, our butcher will slice it like bacon, giving you jowl bacon. We don't offer jowl bacon for sale as a retail cut, so if you want jowl bacon specifically, this is going to be the only way that you can get it. For the oddments, we generally recommend that everyone get the organ meats and the trotters and bones and fats. The organ meats are super nutrient dense, and it's something to experiment with cooking if you've never tried it before. The trotters and the soup bones are fantastic for making stocks, and it's super easy to render back fat at home just using a crock pot and a fine mesh sieve or some cheesecloth to filter out the solids at the end. It's a great thing to have in the kitchen, and we definitely like cooking with it instead of using oil sometimes. And if you're interested in making pastries or pie crusts, it's a great thing to use for that. The leaf lard is actually leaf fat. It's not render lard. But just like the back fat, you can render it at home in a crock pot really, really easily. So we definitely recommend getting it. So last but not least is sausage and ground pork. You can choose from any one of the 4 flavors here. We love the breakfast sausage ourselves, but all the flavors that they have are fantastic. We usually like to get the breakfast in bulk as 1 pound per pack. If you want to get sausage links, we generally recommend making sure that you've chosen to turn either part of your ham or the shoulder picnic or hock or jowl or something else into sausage, just to make sure that you get enough weight for them to do it. Because you'll see that there is a note that there's a 20-pound minimum for sausage links. So if you don't hit that 20-pound mark, it's usually not a big deal, and our butcher will usually turn your sausage into links for you. But if you don't turn any of the other cuts into sausage, there's a decent chance that you're not quite going to have enough extra meat to reach a threshold where they'll be willing to do that for you. We really like to get ground pork. It's great and a really versatile ingredient in the kitchen, and we like to do it 1 pound packages. You can get ground pork and sausage from the same half pig, but I would generally not expect to get ground pork and sausage links, just because you're kind of drawing from the same weight of meat, so you won't be able to reach that minimum threshold to get sausage links. If you do want to do ground pork and sausage, we ask that you note how much ground versus the sausage that you want in your half pig. So in this case, we would say 3 pounds of ground meat and then do the rest as sausage. Or you could say vice versa, do 7 pounds of sausage and then just do the rest as ground pork. So that's pretty much it. This is basically how we usually like to recommend people fill out a cut sheet for the first time. If you have any questions about how to fill out the cut sheet beyond what this video is showing you, or if you want any recommendations on a specific cut, feel free to email us or visit us at the Brighton Farmers Market. Thanks for watching.